The Royal Rumble is only 2 weeks away, and it is time for me to predict who's winning both men's and women's Royal Rumble this year. So let's start with the obvious names for the Women's Rumble, which I have 5 people in mind who could possibly win the entire Rumble. And they are Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, or Bayley. See, I've heard these names being flown around a lot lately, and it does make sense, but I feel like Bianca wouldn't really make sense here because she's already won a Rumble, and after Charlotte Flair got injured, Bianca's road to WrestleMania kind of seems to be suffering a rocky road. And I don't think Bianca's gonna be a part of a title match at WrestleMania this year. And I really don't want to see Io vs Bianca again. As much as the match would be good, I just think they've done it just way too much. So I don't think it's going to be Bianca to win. So let's now look at Jade Cargill, who hasn't even had her first match, and people are saying she's going to win her debut match. Now this could be impressive, but at a booking standpoint, it kind of wouldn't really make sense. A ginormous company like the WWE trusting a newcomer to win such a career-making match on the first night doesn't always happen. And if Jade ends up winning, she would probably go for Io's title, which would completely tear apart the entire Damage Control storyline with the conflicts between Damage Control versus Bayley. And now looking at Bayley, she's kind of a strong contender also because she's kind of been getting tossed around in Damage Control. Everyone's been treating Bayley like she's useless, and it makes sense. Bayley keeps losing matches, which would lead the rest of Damage Control to get upset with her, and I can definitely see Io Sky vs Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. But Bayley doesn't need to win the Rumble to get there. The story writes itself. Bayley gets treated like crap from Damage Control, she turns face on Damage Control, and she goes back to being a single star and challenges Io Sky for the title. And now we have Becky Lynch, former Royal Rumble winner, former WrestleMania main event, someone who's always a strong contender to win these types of matches, someone who's rumored to go face to face with Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania for the Women's World Championship, and Becky winning the Royal Rumble would sure as hell get to where she wants to be, but there's just one problem I have with Becky winning it, and she's Becky Lynch. She doesn't need to win the Rumble. I feel like if someone like Nia Jax or even an Ivy Nile can straight up challenge Rhea Ripley for a championship match, I think Becky can get away with it. Elimination Chamber is in Australia. Who's Australian? Rhea Ripley. Who's the biggest opponent that she can possibly face in her home continent? Becky Lynch. Now I get doing Becky vs Rhea on a B-level pay-per-view could take away from the match, but it just makes sense. It's a hometown match, it's a big match, it's in a stadium, and it's big enough for it to happen at the Elimination Chamber. So why the hell just not, just do it? And now the 5th person is Liv Morgan. She's been out of injury for a while, and the Royal Rumble is kind of the perfect time for her to return and just win the entire thing. Ever since Liv Morgan came out of her scandal looking like a certified G, she got her credibility up, and winning the Royal Rumble would be absolute light work for her because the woman that took her out in the first place was Rhea Ripley, the same person who is world champion right now. So it's either gonna be Liv Morgan vs Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, or a triple threat between Liv, Becky, and Rhea. In my humble opinion, I think Liv or Becky are the 2 people that actually make sense, and it shouldn't be anyone else. But Liv Morgan is just my personal opinion, and big pop. Big pop if Liv wins. Now moving on to the Men's Rumble, a lot of stories need to be completed. We have Drew's story, Cody's story, Gunther's story, CM Punk's story. These are 4 people that really stand out. I mean, out of all 4 of these people that I mentioned, Drew McIntyre is kind of the least likely to win the Rumble because his credibility is just at an all-time low. This man yaps when it's time to talk, but then doesn't win when it's time to win. Like, Drew McIntyre has got to be the biggest opportunity fumbler in history. It's not even worth winning the Rumble because whoever he chooses, even if it's the North American champion Dragon Lee, that man is still gonna end up without a title around his waist. The third least likely man to win is probably Gunther. Now before CM Punk returned, the agenda was pretty clear to have Seth Rollins defend his heavyweight championship against Gunther, whether Gunther is holding the Intercontinental Championship or not. But it's clearly not happening at this point. A lot of people wanted Gunther as World Heavyweight Champion, including me, and I'd be real intrigued if Gunther was able to do the unthinkable and walk out WrestleMania as IC Champ and World Heavyweight Champ, but only in my dreams. Now, if CM Punk didn't return to WWE, I think Gunther would have definitely been the obvious choice. Now, the man that has to finish his story, apparently the only one that needs to finish the story, Cody Rhodes. After hearing that The Rock vs Roman Reigns might happen at the Elimination Chamber, Cody Rhodes sure as hell dodged a pretty heavy bullet and will get Roman one way or another at WrestleMania, either by winning the Rumble or winning the Elimination Chamber. Now, since Cody has already won the Rumble last year, it would be kind of predictable if Cody were to come out this year and win the entire thing. But if Cody comes out real early in the match, maybe like number 1 or 2, and Cody's the last guy or the second to last guy to get eliminated, it would be nice because the fans would be kind of disappointed, but then at the Elimination Chamber, he can win the chamber match and he could face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And we're gonna move on to CM Punk now, because yes, I do think that CM Punk is 100% winning the men's 2024 Royal Rumble, and the odds are stacked in his favor. This man did not come back to WWE to lose and get his main event of WrestleMania taken away from him. He's here to finish what he started, and that's the main event WrestleMania. Go up against Seth Rollins and become world champion. Seth Rollins does not want to fight Punk, and you know, Seth is kind of dodging him. But the only way, in kayfabe, we can get this match is if CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble and challenges Seth Rollins to the match. Now, who doesn't want to see that match? Seth Punk is just one of those last dream matches that are left in the WWE. Both Seth and Punk get to main event, and CM Punk can finish his story and become champion. But the question is, does Damian Priest cash in or not? Now, I'm not answering that, but I wouldn't mind it actually, because Punk said nothing about having a run with the title. His story is only about main eventing WrestleMania and winning the World Championship. My predictions for this year's men's and women's Royal Rumble winners are Liv Morgan and CM Punk. Second one's kind of crazy. So comment down below your predictions down in the comments. I'll be looking at those, analyzing, see if you're right or wrong. Not really, but anyways, I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be me rambling about who will return at the Royal Rumble. So I'll see you guys then. Peace out.